Having eczema at a young age was more like annoying just because it was visually unattractive, and it, like, I had attention on it as a kid, and I would walk around with T-Rex arms and not sort of like always have my arms crossed, and it was itchy, which was uncomfortable, but also it was just something that I was embarrassed about, something I had a lot of personal attention on, and sort of introverted me in that way. Depending on how bad the outbreak was, sometimes it would just be like a couple dots, a couple splotches, but then other times when it was really bad, it could go all the way up and down my arm, and it could get like behind my legs and on my neck, and it wasn't so much painful as it was uncomfortable and itchy, and it would get dry and flaky, and it was visually like weird to look at. It looked like I had poison oak on my arm, and then as well as uncomfortable, and I'd have to try to soothe it, and it would crack, and then I'd itch it, and then it would open, and it's bad news. Well, obviously with working with Feline, she focuses a lot on diet, and it took a while for us to sort of figure out exactly what it was that was causing the inflammation, that was like sort of creating the rashes, was creating the inflammation on my arms, was upsetting my stomach. And some of it came down to just certain things I was allergic to, other things were just inflammatory, and if I ate them to excess or ate them consistently, I would realize that I was having more and more reactions to it. I sort of found that a lot of the external sort of symptoms of inflammation were coming from internal causes. So I get a lot of relief from sort of probiotics, from acidophilus, from sort of things that would help clean up the sort of digestive tract, and then also evening primrose oil, topically and orally, is a really amazing handle on sort of the skin condition to help really bring it down and settle it and soothe it very quickly. So early on, we tested out a couple things and sort of tried to eliminate everything that might be like inflammatory for me, and then slowly tried to introduce more things that, you know, one at a time to see what was and what wasn't having a reaction for me. I have specific things that cause immediate reactions, like day-to-day, and high amounts of sugar, high amounts of dairy, coffee will pretty instantly dry out my skin, get me some sort of irritation, and whether it's just minor itching or whether it's actually a rash, it will pretty immediately break out. You would think that at this point, you know what I mean, I would just stop eating all these things, but unfortunately I love food of all kinds. So for me, it's really a balance thing. It's about moderation and making sure I track it, and making sure that if I'm gonna eat something, like if I really want a slice of pizza, okay, I have a slice of pizza, but then I need to know that if I do a slice of pizza every day, by the end of that week, I will have itchy neck, itchy arms, and I will feel miserable. And then you sort of just figure out what things you can eat consistently to feel good constantly, because it's sort of that balance. Do you want to be uncomfortable? Do you want to feel unhealthy? Do you want to feel tired? Or do you want to feel good? And if you want to feel good, then you know what you need to eliminate from your diet. You know what sort of things you want to sort of eat day to day. And luckily, there's still so many things that you can eat like on a consistent basis that are fine and make you feel great and you don't have any reactions to. And then there's a few things you know that if you eat them, you're going to feel really bad, and it's pretty immediate, and so you just avoid those things. Now, knowing what it is that causes these different reactions in my body, I know what I need to do to avoid them, and I know why I feel a certain way, and it's not this mystery anymore. It's not like, oh, I'm itchy, like what is happening, what do I do about this? It's like, I should have eaten that bagel yesterday, now I have an itchy arm, and it's just, it puts you in control. It makes you feel like you know what you need to do to feel well, and that is, like in itself, like now I don't have outbreaks, and if I have an outbreak, it's my own fault because I did something wrong. I ate something I shouldn't have eaten, and there's no, you know, excusing that. There's just, you know, sometimes I feel like doing a certain thing, maybe I eat it, but then I know that there's repercussions, and then it's not like an affliction that I can't handle. It's something that I can control. It's something that I know what I need to do to handle. I know what supplements I can take. I know what probably caused it. You know what I mean? And as good as I want to feel is as good as I can maintain that diet. From going from so many years of being uncomfortable to having things that I didn't really pay attention to, because if you're tired all the time, you don't really notice that you're tired, this is normal. And then after we had sort of cleaned everything up, and then I re-looked back at that, it was like, it redefines what normal is, because suddenly you can feel good, you can have energy, you can be comfortable, your skin doesn't itch all the time, which is like such an abnormal thing for, I guess, you know, a lot of people, but for me that was a profound change, to suddenly have things just be good and just to feel good suddenly and not be constantly uncomfortable. And now if I get uncomfortable, I notice it immediately. I notice even the slightest shift in my body, because now normal is normal and bad is bad, and I feel like a lot of people, I'm sure, who eat poorly, like they think that that's normal. They think they should always feel how they feel. And then suddenly you have all this energy, and you feel cleaner, and you're just comfortable, and you can sleep and eat normally, and it just changes your day-to-day life. And then when you do something that you shouldn't do, when you do eat something that you're allergic to or whatever, then you start to slip, then you start to feel it, and then you're like, okay, now I know that that's what's causing that. I remember when I was in high school and I felt like solidified it. I'd really devoted myself to cleaning everything out, to really going on a cleansing, like blank slate diet where I was eating very minimal, non-inflammatory foods. It was like the first time that I really felt healthy and clean, and my skin cleared up, and suddenly it was like this huge relief, and I was like, this is what it's meant to feel like, this is normal. And then after we started introducing things and I found out what I could and couldn't eat, and then now I know I can have, 3 delicious meals a day, and I can avoid those things that make me have outbreaks that are inflammatory, and it's relieving and it's empowering.